restaurants would to try to defraud me out of funds. Okay, my only restaurants would do it, but hotels. Okay, I prove my so video of SMI one card on tips on. So I would get do tips, and SMI one card would say that they added their own tips. The reason why they did this is because it was like the restaurants were overcharging me. And so I called the restaurant to get down to the bottom because I was scared to go anywhere. And then it was like I was getting punished for going out and repeatedly defrauded out of funds at restaurants. So I called the restaurant and I said, "Did you overcharge me?" And they said, I really made it a long drawn out thing. I said, "I kept my receipt and it says this and this went through my account." He said, "We didn't do it." And they were rude. I said, "Okay." I called SMI one card. They said they did it. And they're going to continue to put their own tips. That's what they do, and it says it in the paperwork that they put their own tips. I said, "I didn't see that in the paperwork. I'd like you to send it." They never would. So I reported it to the police, and they covered for it. But not to just to make a long story short. So in this new environment, I keep getting credit card fees. They said that CC fee is for using a credit card at multiple different restaurants. Before I got targeted, I didn't experience things like this, so I just wanted to upload it so you can see. This happened, like I said, at another location, and it's like I don't know if they're. Let me show you the PF chains where they tried to defraud me out of funds. This was paused on its own.
Yes.
So this is I'm looking for the PF
calls. There's been a lot of people that told me that they've tried to get through and could not
to the
get
police
through
department.
to me for years.
Let me rewind it.
And I don't know what's the holdup with the investigator because. You needed to answer your report? Yes. I am not able to make or receive calls. There's been a lot of people that told me that they've tried to get through and could not get through to me for years. And I don't know what's the holdup with the investigator because this is vital. I'm in a domestic violence crisis and not having full function of my phone, and the crisis is not helpful. Okay, you said there were several people trying to get in contact with you? Yes, that have said, and I've called and left messages for a lot of different locations, and I don't get these calls returned. So people have told me that they've tried to get through and it went to a voicemail and it was full. My voicemail should not be full.
So the reason why I'm playing this is because I repeatedly keep reporting this to the police and they repeatedly keep covering for it. This is Fort Worth Police. Tampering with evidence is a felony charge. It's a felony. Sugarcoating all these wrapped up felonies here and there. Obstruction of justice is also criminal, and enlisting civilians to conspire with harassment and other crimes. It has to be other federal conspiracy charges. So repeatedly, I'm just not getting heard. But that is this whole YouTube channel is filled with all kind of crimes that the government repeatedly commits and have had no accountability. So back to PF Chang's. So my device glitched, so now I have to go all the way back. Okay, this is PF Chang's. This is me disputing the charges. Let me pause it. So I went to PF Chang's. It was a special occasion, and my friend had helped me. She tried to give me, she bought me a phone that was hacked upon the purchase. So nonetheless, I treated her. We went to PF Chang's. The ticket was $60. They charged me $100. So then after they charged me $100, I disputed it with SMI one card. Then there were 2 more charges for $100. But I've been defrauded out $1,000, so I started recording it. Because I know that people would not believe that restaurants and all these armies full of people would be able to defraud someone out of funds and contribute to financial abuse repeatedly over and over, and nothing's done. This is criminal. People get put in jail for these crimes, but it's repeatedly ignored. So nonetheless, this is the call to whoever's claiming to be my credit card company.
Right, and then there's 2 other transactions for $100. So I was charged $300 for PF Change. Yes, ma'am. No one's making up charges, ma'am. So the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over and expecting different results. No one's getting charges for this. So you can just put in. I don't know why they for them, but like I said, that's why we're going to go ahead and dispute. Well, I called in the past, and sometimes they were saying that it was SMI1 and it wasn't them. So you guys have blamed things on other people, but nonetheless, I just put it in the atmosphere, Mia. I've been getting overcharged years like this. It takes time, effort to settle these problems that routinely arise. It's emotional torment to repetitively have to go through this.
So nonetheless, they never gave me the SMI1 card. Whoever I'm talking to on my phone, they did not refund me the money, and they repeatedly keep covering for crimes. Whoever I'm talking to, so I get nowhere. So I just said, and then each time that I call PF Chang's, this is a call with PF Chang's, I just said, okay, let me call the restaurant and tell the restaurant about the crimes, that I'm being defrauded out of funds. So this is the call. This is the call. I don't know what you heard.
Has me on hold
because it keeps pausing and glitching. So what I stated was that because I couldn't get anything done with my credit card company, whoever I was talking to covered for the charges. So that meant that I was charged overcharged $240 just for trying to dine in at PF Chang's. But it repeatedly kept happening. So I called PF Chang's. This is what happened.
They charged me $200 on the 9th.
So what happened? So I disputed the charges since someone is contributing to financial abuse. Then they tried to punish me for disputing the charges and charged $200 after that, $100 two more times to make a point of who was in control. While I'm trying to report fraud, they want me to know I have power. Not am I going to defraud you out of the 40. I'm going to charge you $100 two more times for you reporting that you got defrauded out of funds. And I'm going to have these scammers cover for my crime. And they did. So I called PF Chang's. Hold on. So PF Chang's played games, put me on hold.
So I started to record. Someone you cared about, your elderly family member. Then what? What if they do this to other people besides myself? They had me on hold and never answered. How do they get?
So I said, you know what? I'm going to the restaurant. I went to the restaurant and I said, you know what? I've been defrauded out of funds and I'm about to call the police right now. If we don't get this straight, whoever I'm talking to on my phone will not give me the money. I'm tired of being defrauded out of funds. So if crimes are being committed, I should have a right to call the police, and I'm calling the police if I don't get my money back. So he said that it was an error on their part. They cover the police and enlist civilians to take the fall for their crimes. He says that he accidentally overcharged me $100 two times. I said, well, if you accidentally did it, you didn't think that you need to make an adjustment? You don't think if you're a supervisor and you claim you didn't know what you were doing? So you accidentally charged me and left me with it until I came here? So then, they won't, they only let them do a certain amount. So he gives me some free egg rolls. So we dine in. But I should have had a whole free meal. But the government don't want me being treated like that. They probably had a heart attack for me getting the free egg roll. So I didn't record it. My bizarre friend had started covering for crimes when the car sped up like it was going to hit her, and then the super glue with my code and all kind of other weird things. So she panics when I record crimes. I didn't want to freak her out, so I didn't record, me telling this man that I'm going to call the police if they don't give me my money back. So then my family's in cahoots. My sister says you're going to all these different hotels and these restaurants and you're eating there and don't want to pay. But my family has been slandering me years to cover for the government. In fact, help falsely committing me, which is a crime, and the government won't do anything to hold her accountable. Which I don't want my sister being going to jail for that, but I'm just trying to derive a paper trail of people blatantly lying on me all over the place. And to lie on someone and take their freedom is a crime. Every police officer that does it, every doctor and schemes, and all these countless people slandering me for my abuser, setting me up, that's criminal. So when I'm on these calls, stalking is a felony. So some kind of way somebody's making noises in this environment, they shouldn't be over here. You hear it? So it startles me. So there's an environment, we have our own little space, and they shouldn't be over here. So that means a lot of times they're eavesdropping. and I thought stalking was a felony, and I'm telling people I'm getting gang stalked and repeatedly not heard.
Overcharged because they force a gratuity is force. The last person told me that they take it off, then they didn't take it off, and then now you're saying that they don't take it off, but they force a gratuity. I've never heard of that, ma'am. It sounds like fraud to me. This is a prepaid card. Ma'am, we were talking about why my card was disabled and cut off in a crisis and deprived me of funds for months. Okay. Hold on just a moment. Okay? Yeah, I shouldn't be forced to talk to scammers, ma'am, that cover for crimes. It's sick. So when they get caught in lies, they normally hang up. I said, I'm the only Irene. Okay. That's how it's set up. So if you're going to pay for gas, you have to go inside and pay. You can pay for gas, you would have to go inside on the account. If you go and try to pay for gas, someone embezzle funds and charge someone for people to do that, that's not criminal? I tried to report it to the police and they detained me in Dangerfield. Yeah. That's not a crime? It's okay? No, because it tells you on here when you get the card, what that is on here. If you go say to use the ma'am, I just told you that I'm overcharged $3 or $4 in schemes, and then they do it in person. The government entices organizations or businesses to deprive me of funds in person, try to keep change and overcharge me if I'm not paying attention, and that's not a crime? No, because it tells you when you activate the card, it tells you what you're going to be charged for and what there's a percentage that's going to. Oh, because if the government can entice a card company to enforce someone to go inside to terrorize them, that would be pretty sick. So being overcharged is not criminal? You're saying that for people to deliberately overcharge me in scams is not a crime? Well, you know, if it is, they don't tell you about it on here, but it does on here when you activate the card. Oh, it tells you that you're going to get overcharged in corruption. It says that on the card? It tells you on here what you're going to be charged for, but a lot of people don't. Oh, okay. Let me address it again, ma'am, because so many people cover up for crimes, and I don't think that we have a proper understanding. I am overcharged. My receipt will say an amount, and on my card statement, it would be $3 or $4 extra, hoping that I don't realize it. But at one point, $200 or $300 will come up missing. Police refuse investigation and have detained me to cover up for it. So you're saying that when I'm overcharged repetitively, routinely for these transactions, $3 or $4, that's not a crime? When I have a receipt saying an amount and then you charge another amount? Again, it tells you on here what you're going to be, what the percentage can be on your account, on your card. When you get it, there's a big package because I have the same card. And you have to go in and tell you there what you're going to be charged for, what the percentage is. All it tells you on there what you're going to be, and then when you go and use the card, then that's when it can hold it. It can hold it while it's still in pay. They're scammers. She's muted. They cover for everything. But that's the government enforces that I speak to scammers that have an excuse for all the crimes. She's trying to validate me getting overcharged. And what if they were doing this to elderly people that did not realize that they were speaking to scammers? Anything on here, you have an option where you can change on there to a different card or something on there, but that's how this card is set up. That's the terms and the conditions of the card. Okay, so you're saying that when I have a receipt that has an amount and I'm overcharged $3 or $4 on my credit card statement, there's a percentage that they're supposed to overcharge me? No, it's a gratuity hold. Whenever you use it anywhere where there's a tip involved, either in a nail salon. They've done it when I was making a purchase for makeup. They did it when I was making a purchase for makeup. Right, anything like that on here that includes the. It doesn't. That's not gratuity. That's not gratuity, ma'am. How at Neiman's making a purchase for makeup? How is that gratuity? No, if it tells you on here as far as what you're going to go, where you're going to go to be able to do that now. Right, but I just told you that you said that the supervisor said that they did it for gratuity and then they changed it. Why would they force me to tip someone if I don't want to tip them a certain amount? That massive tip amount. Why would my credit card company? I called a restaurant where I was overcharged and they said they didn't charge me that amount. So why would you guys force a tip that I didn't authorize? Right. You authorized it on here when you got the card and you activated the card. Okay, no, this is new. This is new. I don't appreciate that you guys forcing me to tip people because that sounds more like fraud and crimes. Why would you force that I tip people? And then why would the supervisor get caught in a lie and then disconnect the call from my credit card company? So since all of this is okay for you, let's discuss in 2018 when I was destitute and scared how my card got cut off.
So I'll put this in the description.
Tell me how my card.
So SMI one card got tired of me reporting that they were robbing me blind. So the operator was rude and said, you know what? Every time you do a dispute, we're going to cut your card off. The government's not playing games. They will defraud me out of funds. I will be a doormat, and they are abusing power. What are you going to do? We have badges and guns, and you don't. So she informed me what they were going to do about my funds. Let me tell you this, Miss Lady. Each time you dispute charges, because you see we repeatedly keep defrauding you out of funds. You think you have rights in this country? This is what we're going to do. Each time you call and dispute charges with us, you're going to have to cancel your card completely. We're going to cancel it for you. Every single time. So we'll cancel your card, then you got to get another one mailed out. And I can barely get mail. This is how the government's treating me. I said, ma'am, I can't get mail. What am I supposed to do? I keep on getting defrauded out of funds. She said, well, each time you dispute something with us, we're canceling your card. That's what we're going to do when you take it. So I got away from them. That's when they tried to steal my my debit card from my new bank account, and then because I had funds with SMI one card. So that's when True Worth was enlisted to try to steal both those cards. And they've racked up all countless felonies that were unaddressed. Why stop now?
We could not match your user information to our records. You have exceeded the maximum number of allowed attempts.
The expected wait time to speak with an agent is less than 10 minutes, but I may be able to help you.
Time to speak to an agent is less than 11 minutes.
They have to get their life straight.
We are experiencing higher than normal call volume, which could lead to longer wait times.
So while I'm on hold, they tried to, the True Worth they had already committed another felony crime of withholding mail that was unaddressed. They withheld mail from the IRS, Social Security Administration, and Health and Human Services, as well as crime victims compensation. They sent that back in malice. Okay, so this has been happening years. All these felonies, racked up felonies. Hold on. Hello?
I'm calling SMI1. The name is
that's how
May I have your first and last name, please?
That's how they answer. You incriminate people. Yes, my first name is Kiana. Last name Clark.
With a hint, who is your hero? What is the past name?
Yes, when my card got cut off last, I wanted to for you to elaborate on the policy of when you're disputing charges that they demand that you cut off your card and get mailed out another one.
Okay, so you, if I understand correctly, you filed a dispute recently?
I would like to know you to elaborate on the policy if you're doing a dispute.
I see.
Is it correct that if you're doing it, I'm calling because I would like to know if you're doing a dispute, if you demand that a person gets a new card mailed out to you and then they cancel your card with a dispute. Is that correct?
So, Ms. Clark, the dispute department is actually closed today.
I'm not quite certain because it said if you have information on charges, and then also it says that if you had wanted to dispute something or if your card was lost or stolen, press this button. But I've noticed since I've been targeted, people are always gone and they're in different departments, so I don't get answers.
I see.
So it used to be if you had questions about your card, you did. What did you say? You said that you saw that my card was cut off. What did you say that you saw? And then you started.
I am still trying to. No, I haven't done anything. I am still trying to review the status of your card and your account. So I was just asking if I was trying to verify if you filed a dispute recently.
No. Do you see the account? So now there's a dispute department that you have to speak with. You can't speak to a live operator about disputes and what's going on with your account?
Yes, I'm just actually needing to review your account. May I please have the last four digits of your card if you have the card by chance?
No, I don't have the card, but I did give you my sensitive information, and I was forced to give you out my social.
Okay. Is it okay if I put you on a brief hold while
I'm
I
not quite
review?
certain. I've been on hold an extended amount of time. What's this hold regarding?
Oh, well, I do need to open and check the status of your account and see what's going on.
I don't want to be
Is it
placed
okay
on
if
a
I
blind
review your
hold. Can you
account?
just put me on hold while
Okay.
I want to be able to communicate with you. I don't want to be on a blind
Yes,
hold.
I'm here.
Okay.
No, you will not. Yeah, so I just wanted to read what's ever notated here because
Okay.
I have limited access.
Okay. Do you know what you're looking for,
Department.
ma'am? You're reading the notes. All these
Yes,
different locations want to read the notes and don't know what they're looking for all the time.
Yes, I'm checking the status in your account and reading the notes. So
I'm
give
not.
me just a
What do you
moment
mean you're
while
checking the status? What are you looking for? The status of what?
checking the status of your account and reading the notes in the account and see what's going on your account.
Okay, so when
Allow
the
me to
person
read.
calls in, you don't listen to why they call. You demand to check the status, and you need to read the notes without having an explanation to what you're looking for.
I'm sorry, ma'am. So I also wanted to see what's going on the account so I can determine how can I assist.
But it doesn't really get far if you won't let me tell you why I called.
You do understand about you? Remember, you asked me a question, so that's why I wanted to determine
What's
if
the
I was
question
able
I
to
asked,
answer
ma'am?
the question
What is the question I asked, ma'am?
about the dispute and if you're required, we are required to replace the card and so on and so forth. The thing is, the dispute department is actually closed today, and Ms. Clark, also dispute department will be closed tomorrow since it's a holiday. So I was just determining if the questions that you are asking me is for the dispute department. So is it okay if I review your account?
Okay, so you have to determine if those questions are for the dispute department only.
Yes, ma'am. So I'm just checking real quick.
Okay.
Just give me just a moment.
Okay.
Okay, thank you.
Just like POF said, you can't contact them. Period. You have to put in, and they'll contact you back in 12 hours. You put in your phone number and all that. Those are your options. We'll contact you back in 12 hours. My life consists of a massive amount of mind games. You have to be on hold to get nowhere. No matter how I try to avoid it, it is bought off and paid in full games to get nowhere. Let's see how this goes. Okay, you said thank you for waiting and then got silent?
So, Ms. Clark, I just see here that the account is closed. It has been canceled and closed. So I'm just trying to reach out to the support team as to who is in
Why
charge
was it
of
canceled and
this.
closed? Because I called, I got my funds away from SMI1 card, and then, because they kept defrauding me out of funds each year, and I couldn't get law enforcement. So then I called because it was on. They put a child support payment on my account, and there was still funds left, about $800 or $900. So I was going to get those funds off, and I checked my card, and then it was games, and I was violated on the bus trying to be able to take those funds off my card. Then SMI1 card said the state demanded that my whole account be closed with funds on it, and they demanded that I get mailed out a check that I barely could get because I can't get my milk. So why was I isolated and targeted, and the state demanded that I close an account because I keep getting treated like that? Why would the state demand that my card is closed with funds on it? The state picked it up. They said demand that I take medication that makes me sick. I'm just not quite certain on why the state would get involved in my financial issues or my finances. Why would the state demand to be involved in that? Is that legal?
So yes, I am actually reaching out to our support team.
You just said you saw that it was closed. I'm not quite certain on if you saw it was closed. Why would they conceal why they closed my card without my permission? So you saw that it was closed. What was your name?
Rosette, Rosette. So
Do you have an employee ID?
You can just notate my name every time you
Yeah,
call.
since I've been targeted, people try to conceal their identity. So you saw that it was closed, and you don't know why they would close my account without my permission?
So So, Ms. Clark, I have limited access. So I'm actually reaching out to our support
Yeah,
team,
this is
which
what
is
happens at
online,
courts
just to see.
in all kind of different environments. So it's like crimes are being committed because if you closing someone's account, I don't know how that could be legal to close someone's account with funds on it repeatedly over and over year after year. But I tried to report it to the police in Dangerfield and went to jail until my family got involved. So 2 or 3 times a week, someone didn't want me making purchases, and the police department covered for whoever it was, and then got upset and they got away with that. So they just said, "I'll just shut your card down. I run the show. I'll just cancel your whole card, and then you see how if you'll ever get your funds. Nobody will ever believe your story. You try proving it. But I do have you on the phone, and if people repeatedly deprive me of information, is that legal? Like, was it legal for them to not give me funds in my own bank account, and I called the police on them? Viewpoint Bank on Forest Lane in October of 2018. So SMI One Card demanded that they close my account and deprive me of funds on my card and cut my card off on a whim. Then we got Viewpoint Bank on Forest Lane in October 2018 not giving me funds in my account, so I called the police on them. Is that a crime, ma'am?
So, Ms. Clark, these are actually legal questions.
I don't think that I'm not really getting clarity, because if you have my funds and you're depriving me of using my funds, should be imperative that you know if that's criminal. If you are not aware that SMI One Card defrauding someone of their own funds, if you're not aware that doing that is a crime, then I'm not quite certain on how you guys haven't been shut down by law enforcement.
Sorry for the inconvenience. I have limited access. In fact, I'm just showing.
But I mean, if for years, if you're depriving me of the knowledge of the information on how you've stolen my funds, what am I supposed to do with it? If you're refusing to give me insight on my own funds because you robbed me of them, that's trapping me in criminal activity. You don't have a right to tell someone you have limited knowledge on when you cut their card off when it was money on there and they had to upload videos to get $800 or $900. But you don't want to incriminate this con that the state cut off my card. The state decided they wanted to cancel my card without my permission with $800 or $900 on it.
So, Ms. Clark, have you also reached out to is this for child support?
I'm on the line with you. I'm just not quite certain on what is happening with this call.
Yes,
you have limited information? What can you give me? Because you guys couldn't give me any information when I was being robbed. So you show that the account was closed. When did you show the account was closed?
So again, I have limited access.
So you show that the account is closed, and you don't want me to know when it was closed? You're hiding that secret too? Ma'am, are you a scammer?
I have limited access.
Ma'am, it sounds like you're a scammer, because if you saw the account is closed, how do you know it's closed if you don't know when it got closed?
So when we pull up the account, we just see the status, but I have limited access. I cannot view everything, all the details in the account.
I don't think that anyone, it sounds like you're committing crimes. What if someone closed it illegally? And you won't tell me when it got closed? I don't know how this is criminal, ma'am. So we need to get answers on when it was closed and the circumstances, because someone could have committed a crime and closed my account, and with you withholding information, that makes you an accomplice.
I understand, but yes, I'm actually reaching out to our support team who can help us with your question.
Yeah, because ever since I've been targeted, no one has the answers at court, and I can't go. No one has the answers on where I repeatedly see dead bugs. No one has the answers on the weird X. I mean, just no one has the answers on services I can get. No one has the answers on why they're repeatedly arguing with me and don't know why, and all they do get out my car. So I'm just trying to get answers, since there's just not a lot around me to be given. Okay, ma'am, I'll wait. Because I don't really know how fruitful customer service will be if they can never give me answers. You did say that you had me on hold for an extended amount of time reviewing something that you were reviewing, and now you don't want to tell me what you reviewed.
So, ma'am, I am now working with the support team, and now they're pulling up your account. Please allow time so that they can pull up your account, and I'm relaying to them.
I thought you already had it up, ma'am. I thought you already had the account up. Since I've been targeted, the customer service is so poor. In fact, it seems like they're covering for crimes repeatedly over and over. You'd have to prove it keeps happening. No one would ever believe that story. But okay, man, we'll see how this works. It didn't work out very well. That's why I had to get away from you guys. I've lost thousands from you guys. You just kept covering for crimes and punishing me for reporting it. Like when you canceled out my card and don't want to tell me when and why you did it. Okay, ma'am, I'll wait. I've waited 10 years.
Okay.
Plus.
All right, thank you so much.
So nonetheless, they got away with that. Hey, why don't we steal the food stamps from her? She's been in jail on these false charges, $1,000 accumulated. Let's still rob her of that. Great idea. We'll steal the food stamps. Hey, it's a crime. You know, they don't really play games with food stamps. How are we going to cover for that? Just don't take the report. Then after it blew off, I did it. I left the food stamps on the card and wouldn't spend them off. Blatant lie. They didn't have their lie straight, so they threatened the police and security. This was, I think, on Ledbetter, Health and Human Services. I should have the video uploaded. Then they got tired of me repeatedly reporting crimes, so then police came to the location in Fort Worth and gave me a criminal trespass. Ma'am, are you there?
Yes, Ms. Clark. So I just got a response from our support team. I was advised to tell you to contact the state for more information. They advised.
No, ma'am, I keep getting this across the board. No, just like they told me, the court told me to contact Randall Scott on why they racked up felonies for themselves. No, I have questions on what SMI1 did. SMI1 did, not the state. So I'm not quite certain on why a court don't want to take accountability for their felonies and demand that I speak with an attorney to address why they committed crimes. I have questions on what SMI1 did. This call has been an extended amount of time. In fact, years of this nightmare. I just don't understand how people have been free of charges, but you repeatedly keep doing it. So you have the right to steal funds and not give me an explanation on why you repeatedly keep doing it.
So I'm just also relaying to the message, the response from.
Well, you already said that you had someone coming, and then the person that came is now saying that they want me to contact the state to figure out why you guys committed crimes.
So, ma'am, the Office of the Attorney General will be able to answer your questions as to why they decide to close the account. I can give you their number. Let me call them during business hours. They'll be able to answer your questions.
Okay, so I just want to get clarity. So the state can say, we wanted to rob her of her funds. And then they have to upload a video to not be defrauded out of the funds. The state can say, we can close out your account with funds on it to keep you from your funds. The state can say that? Because the state demanded that I take medication.
Not from the state?
I'm sorry? Ma'am, I didn't quite hear you.
I am not from the state.
But you did have, I'm not really being heard. There's a disconnect. See, the problem of it is you had my funds. SMI1 card had the funds on it. Okay? And you're saying that the state said, the state. So I'm asking you if that's legal for me to have a card from you and you let the state rob me of my funds. So I'm asking you if SMI1 card letting the state rob me, if that is legal.
Oh, so Ms. Clark, I'm not showing any money on your account at all. So
right, but my question of it is, if I have funds on a card, and if you say that the state let the state rob me, is that legal?
So, ma'am, I'm sorry. These are legal questions that
I'm just the problem of it is, if you're contacting your credit card company and you're saying, credit card company, you have closed my card account, my card when I need my funds, and then you pass the buck, but you're the gatekeeper. So what you're saying is ridiculous. You're trying to demand that the state take responsibility for you letting the state rob me. So I would like
from card services side.
I'm sorry?
Ms. Clark, we are just from the card services side. This is for your card. We handle with the card management with regards to money and your account and as to
Well, it needs to be addressed, ma'am, because someone enticed my bank to not give me funds in my account. and haven't been sent to jail.
Yeah.
So I don't perceive that
I
this will stop happening until I start getting answers and people stop deflecting and blaming others for crimes they repeatedly commit. So I'm not trying to
So
hold
I
the
have
state accountable for SMI one card, saying that the state picked it up and demanded my account to be closed repeatedly over and over in crisis situations. Why
to
can't
be correct,
SMI
I
one
will link
card be
the
held
phone number.
responsible? I'm not quite certain on why you are condoning behavior like that. I've never heard of that in all my years of living, only me experiencing that. That someone could openly rob someone all on a YouTube channel repeatedly over and over and never be held accountable. Everything that they have, children, living environments, medical treatment, everything, and still not be held accountable. I would not treat me a person the way I didn't even think that you could. I thought it was misconduct for as someone asking questions on why their car repeatedly closed when they needed it, and you won't tell them. I didn't think that you could do that. I thought that those were federal regulations, and if someone wanted knowledge of why someone was repeatedly allowed to close out accounts and defraud them out of funds, I thought that that was like federal charges, and that those people would be held accountable for madness like that. I didn't think
So
that
Miss
anyone
Clark,
would be
the
able to
office.
have a credit card company or federal abide by federal guidelines by depriving someone of the information on why they repeatedly cancel their card without their permission. So that particular
So Miss
time,
Clark,
but that particular time, you're saying that the state picked it up. What about the time before that, before the state picked it up? Why was my card canceled?
see, ma'am, I have limited access. The office
So
of
you
the
can't
Attorney
keep
General
conning
is
that
in
your access
Texas
is
and is not
limited.
to
You said that
provide.
the state had that. So you can't tell me the other time right before that, a couple months before, why my card was canceled?
I
Who
have
can?
limited access, Miss Clark.
So who has the right
So
access, ma'am?
this is why I'll give you a number to call. This is the office of the Attorney General of the state of Texas. Do you have a
Ma'am,
pen
they don't.
handy?
I'm not being heard, ma'am. I've been having to be forced into these mind games and to run around for years. The state did not. I want to know why SMI One card a couple months earlier canceled my card prior to that. It wasn't the state. Because the state had someone put me out off on Bluffman. And then when they got caught in that, MHMR came to rescue and said they lost funding. I'm not quite certain. Then the state told someone not to sell me coffee at Racetrack on Buckner. The state came and closed down all their coffee when they got caught in other crimes. You'd have to prove something like this repeatedly keeps happening. I'm not quite certain on why the state wants to run my life and how the state hasn't got charges. But if anyone were to do law enforcement, my phone covered for, the representative said the state had just told him that he needed to shut down the coffee. When I showed up, I said I hope the state gets prison sentences because it happened at a restaurant. I think it was Zang, a Spanish restaurant by Subway. Subway closed down and I couldn't make a purchase. They said the state had just came and said something, and then I said, and I just saw police patrolling the area. You'd have to prove some insanity like that, someone experienced insanity like this. But I'm not quite certain on why you're demanding that I speak to the state to get information on why SMI One card canceled my card out. First, they canceled the card out altogether where I could never get a card again and blame that on the state. 2 months before that, or maybe a month and a half before that, they canceled my card out and demanded that I get sent another card. So are you unwilling to tell me
So Miss
anything about my account, ma'am? Period.
So, Ms. Clark, I just got a response from our support team. I was advised that we do not have answer as to why your account is closed. It was the compliance
I'm not.
department.
I
as well
asked
as
prior,
the state.
ma'am. So are you saying that I can't get knowledge on what's happened with my credit card in the past? You guys are refusing to give me information on my card experiences and my transactions. You're denying me that right to know.
So, ma'am, the agent or the department in charge who closed the account, they're open on Tuesday. If you want to talk to them, I would suggest that you contact them on Tuesday. They're actually closed on
Who are
weekends and
they don't work
well.
there. They close anything to not get charges. I'm not quite certain of who I'm talking to. What do you mean I have to wait till Tuesday? What's happening? All I wanted to know is why the state closed my account altogether where I could never get a card. Demanded I get my funds mailed to me, and I don't even have can't get mail barely in this country, and nothing's done. Then a month and a half before that, then it was canceled and demanded that I get another card mail without my permission. I went to go use my card. They were rude and told me, yeah, they canceled it on their own. Like the POF removed pictures without my permission. That's the picture we choose for you. So nonetheless, I'm just really confused on why I can't know, calling my credit card company on why they canceled my card repeatedly over and over year after year, and I had to get away because I couldn't get law enforcement. You are refusing to tell me prior to just closing the account out altogether why you canceled my card? And without my
So
permission?
there is no note. Okay, there's no notes in the account as to the reason, but the department who closed the account, they will be open on Tuesday.
Okay,
That's
when do
why
you
I
show?
would
You
like
said
to
that there's
check.
no notes. When do you show that it was closed?
Okay, let me check. I have limited access, so let
I
me
know
check
the
with
feds
the
need to have a lot of access. Okay, ma'am, you got to see it to believe it. You just take it.
ask them.
And then they want to frame me for mental
Relay your
illness.
question.
And then they're getting away with this insanity. Released from jail, you will ride with your brothers or you won't get out of jail. What? You either ride with your brothers or you going back to jail. They did it. You can't put on makeup at Austin Street Shelter. If you put on makeup, we're going to put you out. And by the way, you can't talk to men here either. And if we're mad, you can't talk to women either. Don't talk to anyone. It was a living hell that I had to live like that. And nothing was repeatedly done. They're his staff. They can't help me. They're working for the person that's violating me. It's a conflict of interest. If their job description is to hijack my phone knowing you never believe my story and conceal crimes, it's not going to happen. The person that's committing the crimes is paying these people. They can't give me any kind of ability to flee his abuse if they're on his payroll. And their job is to cover for the crimes. Yes, ma'am?
Yeah, I see. I was given information by my support team that your account was closed September 9th of last year, 2024.
That's not is that the one where they completely closed the account and they said the state picked it up?
Yes, ma'am.
But before that, I asked, that's what you were looking for. Before that, I asked why I was closed before that. And they gave me a card? Why my card was canceled without my permission?
So the card was canceled when your account was closed automatically.
I'm not being heard for all these years, ma'am. The time before that, I repeatedly keep saying that. Why are all these locations not hearing me? Down to when is your computer working? To get nowhere. I'm just really not being heard. Before that, ma'am, I thought we already had that addressed. I asked you why was my card canceled before that? When I wasn't recording, it wasn't up for debate that it was being controlled illegally. Because they'd hang up in my face, start arguments, call me back, prank call me, harass me, interrupt. I had to threaten the police for one of these scammers to stop calling me back. Some of them would get caught in lies that they knew me and didn't care.
So I just got information. It was canceled due to your disputes and unauthorized charges, according to you.
Okay, when was this?
So the card was canceled, the account was canceled September 9 of 2024. And prior to that, you disputed transactions that you reported not recognized. And so when that happens, when you
That's not what I reported, ma'am. That's not what I reported. So when was this canceled? Is my question.
Okay. Let me check real quick.
I thought you were already checking that, ma'am, for an extended amount of time.
No, I am actually relaying your questions to my support team, ma'am. Okay, so I'm just waiting for a response.
Okay, so you were saying that it was canceled because they stated that I had a transaction I didn't recognize?
That was normally if you dispute transactions and you
I'm
say,
just asking what
"Well,
happened, ma'am. You're doing all this
yeah,
investigation work and you don't have answers. I didn't think that it was legal for you to do that. So you're saying that it was canceled because I said it was a transaction that I didn't recognize?
okay, so this is what happened.
Is that a yes or
So
no question, ma'am? That's a yes or no. You're saying that they canceled my card out without my permission because it was a transaction that I didn't recognize?
no, ma'am. So this is what happens. If you have money on your account,
No, I
if
don't
you
want to go
report,
on that, ma'am. I like to go on definitives. You are looking at my account,
okay,
and why was my card canceled?
okay. So for our, according to our process, if you report transactions that are not
Ma'am, what do you
recognized,
see,
if you have
ma'am?
money
What do
on
you
your
see?
account,
Not according to the process. What do you see happen? I didn't think it was legal for you to cancel my card out without my permission and then withhold from me why you did it. I
so
thought that
ma'am,
was
dispute
criminal
will
against
automatically,
the codes.
ma'am, so ma'am, the dispute will automatically block your card if you report that there are transactions that you do not recognize for your
Okay, well,
account.
what transactions did I
Let's
not
say if you
recognize,
have
ma'am?
money.
Ma'am, what transactions did I not recognize?
Okay, let me check real quick.
Okay.
Should be able to view the dispute. Okay, it says you have La Quinta Inn for $215.98. This is the dispute that you filed.
What happened with the dispute, ma'am?
So with regards to the dispute department can give you answer
So
to
you
that,
don't
Ms.
know if they
Clark.
refunded me my money back on La Quinta Inn or not? You can't see that, ma'am?
I am not from the department, Ms. Clark.
That she
They're
don't want you to
open. They
know
will
they didn't
open
get, I didn't
today as
win the
well.
dispute. They
They are
cover for me
closed
being
today as
defrauded
well.
out of funds. That's why she don't want to talk about it. Okay, so ma'am, you do have limited information. I did a dispute on La Quinta Inn. I said I didn't recognize that charge.
Oh, that's what's just per note that you reported. Okay, let me see.
I don't know why you guys repeatedly keep covering for crimes. I said the police department put me out of La Quinta Inn and wouldn't let me have my hotel stay and haven't had any accountability for racked up repeated felonies. And enlist a lot of accomplices to rack up other felonies with them. That's why I don't want to live in this country. Because if people can repeatedly get away with insanity, it's not safe for anyone to be in this country. But repeatedly, I'm not heard. So nonetheless, so they are covering up for the police department, removing me for La Quinta Inn for profit, lying and saying that they refunded me my money back, and they didn't. I don't know if I said apartment, but the hotel said that the police department, when they removed me in corruption, said they said that they have the right to remove me for no reason. Like you guys aren't making sense. They don't have the right, but they wanted me to believe that they can just come to someone in a paid hotel room and demand that they leave for no reason and defraud them out of funds. I never got the money back. You guys covered for it. So they falsified information in the reports and said I was a charge that I didn't recognize. They've been doing it years, ma'am. I'm just trying to prove it. You there, ma'am?
See, ma'am, I am actually not from the dispute department. It is best to
I don't. It's
contact
really
what we call a
frustrating
staff.
talking to you guys all over the place. It just seems like it's criminal for you guys to rob someone of funds and then not be held accountable for not supplying answers on why you keep repeatedly doing it. You don't think that's serious for someone to cover for police putting me out of a hotel room that I haven't used the services for, and then you guys cover for it and put that I didn't recognize the card, that transaction? That's not what I reported. But you guys have been committing crimes years. I'm just trying to prove it. And my family members covers for crimes. I'm trying to prove that too. But I'm not quite certain on why SMI1 card would be in cahoots with all kind of wrecked up felonies. So I don't know why. Is that a crime if they're putting falsifying information to deprive me of funds? And they're in cahoots with the police department that forced me to leave a hotel room without getting the services? Can that operator be, held accountable for that? Do I need to speak with the supervisor? Because it's like you're covering for crimes, man. It's just I can't put my foot on why I've been calling 10 years and everyone seems to be accomplices to criminal activity. No one would ever believe that someone experienced something like that. You'd have to prove it. Ma'am, I've been robbed out of thousands, ma'am. Because it's just people just could not get their story straight, and I had to come to the conclusion that I had to start recording my calls and my experiences because no one would ever believe them. So you're not alarmed that they committed crimes and falsified information in my report?
See, ma'am, the best department who can help you with that is the dispute department. Please do call us back on Tuesday when they're open, and also please contact the state as to the reason why your account is
I'll
closed.
contact the state. They won't up any reason, and I didn't think it was legal for the state to demand someone's credit card be closed with funds on it. I called before prior to see if the funds were on the card. Then got to the bank, and believe me, it was not easy because they were playing a lot of different games on using transit. So I got there, and then I'll be doggone, the state has closed the card, the whole account. They didn't want me ever getting the card again with funds on it, and demanded that I get a check and can't get my mail. Luckily, they were able to send it certified after a lot of games, and I got it that way. So, ma'am, if I have experienced this for years, you guys are unwilling to tell me about, you don't want to hold anyone accountable and don't want to incriminate anyone. I've tried it to get nowhere. I'm just trying to prove that how extensive the financial crimes have been. That someone is trying to contribute to financial abuse is able to enlist all these accomplices in all these different places, even restaurants, stores, to decide fraud someone out of funds. Attorney General, Child Support Division, Social Security Administration, Health and Human Services. You'd have to prove something like that repeatedly happens, ma'am. I'm trying to prove it. Okay, ma'am, I've invested 41 minutes, in fact, 10 years, multiple different banks trying to defraud me out of funds. So hopefully, ma'am, I'm hoping and praying for a day that something can be done. Because I don't want to have to live my life with people repeatedly mistreating me, defrauding me out of funds, racking up felonies, and not having to have accountability and even tell me why they did it. All these false arrests, I can't go to court. They hang up in my face. They don't have to tell me why they did it. We don't have to. Okay, ma'am. Thank you.
You're welcome, Ms. Clark, and thank you for calling SMI1. Great talking to you. And please hold for a brief 2-question survey. Stay safe.
So then they cut the card off. That's what I was saying before she answered the phone. They cut the card off, and then they demanded that I leave with my brothers. So then they cut the card off again, and then demanded, they closed it out. They said some kind of crime, and then demanded that I go to the Child Support Division. So I did not really have access to transportation because my family wouldn't help me, period. And some of them didn't have cars, and the ones that did were in cahoots and wouldn't give me a ride. So spur of the moment, I told the neighbor that I had funds, and if he gave me, I would give him a pretty good amount of gas money, and he was on it. Yeah, I'll do it. They didn't have time to control the neighbor. So the neighbor takes me to the Child Support Division in Longview. So the Child Support Division in Longview says that we can't give you your card, blah, blah, this, blah, blah, that. I said, you know what? I'm calling the police. So the Child Support Division, this was December, I think, of 2018. So then they say, oh, that party's new. They're new. I can give you the card. I said, I bet you can. So, but they said they wanted to add insult to injury. They said, yeah, but we found this. Why don't you take this? Your child custody rights are terminated. So he felt, well, since you're getting your funds, let me put your, throw this in your face. I said, I don't know why you gave me this. I thought you needed it, with a smirk on her face. So nonetheless, they can't find the Child Support Division can't find the terminated papers now. But multiple different locations wanted to throw that in my face, that my child custody rights were terminated. Okay, well, this is how my life is. 54 minutes. And I don't know how far we got, but just more evidence of wrecked up felonies.